Since finishing Black Mirror and now waiting for season 5 to come out, I've been on the hunt for something good to watch that's similar. Many times I've often heard that Charlie Brooker has said that the Twilight Zone was a huge inspiration when it came to the creation of Black Mirror. So I thought, why not start watching it and reviewing all of the episodes that I watch. The first episode that I watched out of so many to choose from was The Eye of the Beholder. Before I go ahead, make sure you go over to my Twitter @brainpilot_ to see what I get up to outside of YouTube. So without further ado, I'm Brainpilot, and here is a review of The Twilight Zone, The Eye of the Beholder. So the episode starts off in a hospital with a woman with a bandage over her face. She talks to the doctor about what will happen if this final experiment to make her look normal will work and what will happen if it doesn't. Bear in mind at this point we have not seen any of the doctor's faces nor the woman's face or anybody's face in the episode at all. This carries on throughout the whole episode. I like the fact that they did that. It allowed you to really empathize with the woman by not knowing what anything or anybody looked like. Throughout the episode, she talks about her tragic past of being called all sorts of names for the way that she looks, being screamed at and made fun of. Throughout all of this, you were constantly wondering, what does she actually look like? The fact that she has a bandage over her face means that it must be bad. Well, this is what you're led to believe anyway. We are told throughout the episode that if the test wasn't successful, then she would have to go to a location where people of her kind have to live. This led me to wonder whether it was some kind of zoo-like place where they take people who look like her, or if it was just somewhere where they could congregate them and keep them in one place so they didn't disturb the general public. It gets to the point of the doctor unraveling the bandage and you still haven't seen anybody's face despite it being around the 20-minute mark. Of course, as they slowly unravel, the woman's face is beautiful, and it turns out that the doctors that work in the hospital have these deformed-like faces that almost reminded me of the original apes in the Planet of the Apes film. The woman literally looks like a copy of Marilyn Monroe, but the doctors feel as though she needs surgery because, in their eyes, she looks ugly. She ultimately tries to escape, but she runs into a clearly handsome guy who is going to take her to the place where she has to live out the rest of her days. And then the episode finishes, with the doctors looking at her in disgust. The message of the episode is very clear and self-explanatory. It's in the title. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Because in this Twilight Zone world, it's full of people that look deformed, and in their eyes, that's beautiful. So when somebody that we perceive as beautiful is put in a place where they're a minority, they lose that association of beauty. It's all down to the individual or society. I really liked the fact that as an audience member you couldn't see any of the faces. Like I said, it really allowed you to empathize for the woman, and it's made clear that we cannot see the faces because we look just like her as well. We're human just as she is. Obviously it had to be like that because of the big twist, but it has a deeper meaning behind it. The acting itself is something that you can't necessarily compare to what we see today. This is because it's in a completely different style. Even when things in the episode looked absolutely pathetic, it has its charm. It's from the 1960s, so what do you expect? These types of shows paved the way for what we have today, so they deserve the utmost respect. Overall, I would say that this episode of The Twilight Zone is very strong. The message is clear and concise and powerful at the same time. It achieves everything that it sets out to do, and it makes a great watch. I've watched a couple more of the episodes, and they will be being reviewed in my following videos. Are there any episodes that you'd like me to review? What did you think of the episode The Eye of the Beholder? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.